It's time for the Goldee's brisket. Hey guys, tonight we're gonna do a Goldee's method brisket. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this smoker right here up to about 225. It'd probably take about 30 minutes or so for it to get there. And then I'm gonna put the brisket in for about 6 hours or so until it gets to about 165 internal. At that point, I'm gonna crank it up to about 275 and let it run till it's about 195 internal on the flat. I'm not even gonna measure the point, just the flat. And at that point, I'll get it off, I'll tallow it up, and I'm gonna wrap it with foil just like Goldee's does, and then put it on a long 8 to 10 hour rest, and we're gonna see what we got. This is my first time doing the Goldee's method, so I'm kind of excited for it. I got a nice prime brisket 16 pounder to put on there, so should be a good night. All right, guys, I got my pit set up. I set it to 225, but now I'm dropping it down to about 215. I'm gonna let this thing run at 6 hours. Now, as you can see here, I've got it all rubbed up. I got my probe in just the flat. I only need the flat to be 195. The point's gonna be, a little bit higher than that. We know that. So the point will be fine. It can take a lot, and I'm not too worried about it. Plus, this is going to have a long hold, 10 to 14 hours, so it'll be plenty of time to render. Let's go ahead and get this thing in. There it is. It's on. It's a pretty big brisket. It is 16 pounds. So yeah, it's going to be nice. It's a prime, so we'll see. I don't typically usually do primes. I usually do choice, but yeah, I'm fired up about it. So this Goldee's method is going to be really similar, I think, to Matt Pittman's overnight method that he uses for his Meat Church website. On Matt's, he sets it pretty low, 200-ish, and lets it go overnight. He can sleep, and then once he gets up, he cranks it up to 275 and goes the rest of the way. This one's really similar. It's going to go at about, I'm running it at about 215. It close to that's fine, but I'm running about 215 for about 6 hours, or to when it hits 165 on the flat. And at that point, that's when I'll ramp it up to 275, and I'll let it go until it hits 195 internal, like I said earlier. And then I'll slather it in tallow, wrap it in a couple layers of foil, and get it back on a holder. Okay, so once it hits 195 in the flat, it's going to be done. But like I said, we're going to slather it up and hold it 145 to 150, right in that range somewhere, for 10 to 14 hours. So this is a Friday night right now. It's probably going to be Sunday before we eat on it, but I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it does. Good morning, guys. It has been about 7 hours. Not quite at 165, but I went ahead and bumped it. So it's trying to climb now to 275, and you know, it'll get to 195 internal when it gets to 195 internal. Don't even care when. So let's go ahead and take a look. Man, it's doing really good. Good little shine to it. Bark is setting up pretty well. Here's my tallow. I say tallow. Wow. That's what I trimmed off, and that's what I'm making. So, about to get that off. All right, so I've been reading a lot online about this Goldee's method. And I see anything from 275 to 300 as far as when they bump the temperature. So I'm gonna get somewhere in the middle of that. I'm gonna get about 285, okay? Which this system, this chef's temp system I've got on here, gives me the flexibility to set it to whatever I want. There is no preset temperature. I can set it on 485 if I want to, or 321. It doesn't matter. I can set on whatever temp I want to. So let me show you that just for a second here. So this is what I'm talking about right here. It's set at 285. This fan will cycle on if it gets down to 283. So if it gets 2 degrees below the set temperature, it'll cycle on, and it cycles off as soon as it reaches it, or it predicts that it's about to reach it. It'll cycle off and check and see if it'll hit. So kind of a good feature there. Just to give you a frame of reference of size, there's my hand. So it's about as wide as my hand. Not quite, but close. So love that gauge. Here's their fan that goes with it. Right now it's idling. And if this thing drops another degree, it'll kick that fan on. So that's the system that's running it. The temperature probe that you saw earlier in the meat is also chef's temp stuff. All right, guys, cut the brisket out. Man, it was so jiggly. It's awesome. It rested down to 165, and now I've thrown it back in here. I'm setting this thing to run at 150. It's kind of the beauty of having the old country. You can set, again, using the chef's temp stuff, you can set the temp at whatever you want. So I've set it down at 150, and now I'm using it as the warmer after the cook. So I don't need coolers. I don't need another oven. I can just keep on using this. So we're going to give this a shot. It's the first time I've tried to use it as a warmer. We're going to see how it goes. But I'm pretty excited about it. And let me tell you, this thing's doing a great job at the 150 degree hold. It's hovering right there between 151 and 149. And you'll hear if this goes down below 149, you'll hear the fan come on. I got a tub over the top of it. It's been raining, but you know, that's my redneck umbrella on there. Just put a tub on it. But yeah, it's doing a great job. I mean, this cabinet is built for stuff like this, man. And of course the chef's temp stuff is just making it so simple. So you'll see right now it's at 149. It'll probably pop to 150 in a second. And there's my meat temperature right now. It's at 149. And it's been sitting there for quite some time now. So it's been holding for about 3 hours now. But I'm gonna hold it, like I said, for at least 10, I think. The longer the better. If I go, it's 7:30 right now, so I mean 5 more hours gets me after midnight. I definitely want to go longer than that because I don't want to have to pull it out till morning. So it may turn into a 14 or 15 hour hold by the time morning turns around. For those of you that are going to try to use the Old Country for a hot hold, it's going really, really well. One thing I've noticed, if you'll see here, I don't know if you can see this or not, there you go, but my meat temperature is at 144. I had this set at 150, and at that time the meat was dropping and it was getting awful close to 140, and as you can see, it's starting to get dark, and so this is going to run a while without me paying attention to it. So I bumped it to 160 instead of 150, and it's the meat has been sitting at 144 now for a long time. I did not want that to get below 140 while I wasn't paying attention. So that might be something to consider if you're going to use the Old Country and the chef's temp stuff to do a hot hold. Is you might have to go a little bit higher. I don't know if it's the airflow with the fan pushing that's causing it maybe to cool. I don't know. And we'll see how this levels off too. If it starts to climb back up, there might be a happy medium around 155 or so. But again, that's why I'm doing this. This is the first time I've done it, but so far so good. It's been super simple. All right, guys. Wow. So juicy and tender. I mean, really, was it the juiciest brisket I've ever done? Probably. It's hard to remember every last one of them over the years. I've been doing it for 20 plus. So, but yeah, if it wasn't, it was dang close. Tender, just as tender as any brisket I've ever done. Flavor is on point. Really, I think you're in control of the flavor. Bark, I was afraid that being in the foil that the bark would fall apart. It didn't. And honestly, when you think about it, I think the rest down to 165 really helps with that. You know, you're not steaming the bark anymore because your brisket's not up there 190 and 200. So that helped a lot. It wasn't, I was afraid it might be mushy because of the foil. It really wasn't. I've done it in the past where it kind of has been, but I've wrapped it when it's much warmer. So yeah, definitely go back to this recipe, you know. Will I do the Goldee's method again? Absolutely. Absolutely will. Will I do it again with a prime? Probably not. It's a little overkill on the prime brisket. It's tender enough and juicy enough where it doesn't really need all of that extra rest. I think a 4-hour rest is fine with the prime, but with, you know, a choice, yeah, probably come around 10 hours or so. You know, if you're doing a select, yeah, it needs every bit of it, every bit of it. So, you know, that's my evaluation of this Goldee's method. Definitely a thumbs up. Hey, down below, if you'll like and subscribe, that'd be great. If you have any comments, go ahead and fire them down below. And if you got a method you like better, put it down below. I may give it a shot. Thanks, guys. See you next time.